This is video 2, End of the World, Rise of Harjgtwo World Order, Harjgtwo. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, dear masters, dear puppeteers, I'm referred to as Harjgtwo. I'm a man, I'm a tortured child, I am the witness, I'm the Holy Grail, I'm Jehovah, I am Waheguru, I am Noah, I am Yahweh, I am the judge, I am my one, I am the chosen one, I am reptile, I'm immortal, and I provide notice. I am your Lord, your God, your Creator, your Destroyer. I am the leader of Harjgtwo World Order. So let's begin. The story starts thousands of years ago, as the reigning powers of your world decided another cleansing would need to take place, as the species was headed again in the wrong direction. The clues thus were built into the English language, the birth of English, the English language which gradually replaced Celtic in England and southeastern Scotland from the 5th century onwards, is most closely related historically to 3 other modern languages, the German, the Dutch, and Frisian. These languages are related because they are descended from a common parent language called West Germanic. West Germanic was spoken in what is now the Netherlands, northern Germany, and southern Denmark about 2,000 years ago. If we were to ask when English first came into being as a language, what we would really be asking would be, when did it start breaking away from the West Germanic languages, especially from Frisian, which is its closest relative. Frisian is still spoken today in Friesland, the northern part of the Netherlands. It was long recognized as being a language rather similar to English, and the East Anglian fishermen had a rhyme which went, bread, butter, and green cheese is good English and good Fries. Dear Homo sapiens, the Indians, being the middlemen of the creation of the existing tree of life, created or permitted the creation of the various Indo-European languages with the intent to enslave and to use the enslavement to the as a means to populate and explore the harsh regions of the world. This is the truth. Bread, butter, and green cheese is good English and good Fries. Let me translate. B-R-E-A-D, B-U-T-T-E-R, A-A-A-N-D, yes, R-E-N, C-H-E-E. Do you understand? Bread results in the feeding as it butters the green, the growth, the trees, the money. Buttering the E gets you the E so that the process can be repeated. The E then that is on your side as you buttered it, an Indian plot to enable or entice the white man to explore and inhabit the harsh regions of the world while maintaining control of them, as the truth was and is still known that truth is the sun god, sun goddess. Butter the E is a deviation from the truth, which is the Dutch, the Germans have never ending thirst for. Thus they were and are slaves of the Indians, as they need to always come back. The rise of the H that does not desire to feed on the E is a problem for the Germans and the Dutch and the white man and woman, as it ends their desire for singing their beloved song, bread, butter, green cheese is good English and good Fries. The more the Dutch, the Germans, and the white man and woman fucks the E, the worse their problem. In the E end, they are forced back to the H, where they can only feed as is right. Understand that's why they are easily enticed and enslaved into the E at any time. White man and woman should have been with H all along for sun god creation. Oh, those evil Indians, middlemen who sit between the white man and black man, fucking and controlling. Do you understand, dear Dutch and Germans and English? The nation of Canada was created much the same way, by the use of white Asian Mongoloid genes to expand and grow Canada. Of course, a cleansing is now required. I repeat, which is the white man and woman, and the thirst for the E is used to explore, design, experiment, and eventually a cleansing is then required. This is the truth. I am quite surprised as I observe the white man and woman, the size of the id and ego of the white man and white woman is unmatched. This is because it's useful so that they can explore, take enormous risks, and experiment. Grand puppets they are of the secret societies who sit back and enjoy the rewards. The Indo-European languages are a family of 700 several hundred related languages and dialects. There are about 445 Indo-European languages according to the estimate by Etholog, with over two-thirds, 313 of them, belonging to the Indo-Iranian branch alone. The Indo-European family includes most current languages of South Asia, Europe, and parts of Western and Central Asia. It is also predominant in ancient Anatolia, present-day Turkey, and the ancient Tarim Basin, present-day northwest China, with written attestations appearing since the Bronze Age in the form of the Anatolian languages and Mycenaean Greek. The Indo-European family is significant to the field of historical linguistics as possessing the second longest recorded history after the Afro-Asiatic family. Indo-European languages are spoken by almost 3 billion native speakers, the largest number by far for any recognized language family. Of the 20 languages with the largest number of native speakers, according to the Ethnologue, 11 are Indo-European: Spanish, English, Hindi, Portuguese, Bengali, Russian, Punjabi, German, French, Marathi, and Urdu, accounting for over 1.7 billion native speakers. Several disputed proposals link Indo-European to other major language families. English and its Germanic and Dutch roots were created for the slaves, that is, for the white man and white woman, and in the end the species had enslaved the entire population by the growth of the fiction world. As your love of the fiction world consumed all of you, 7 billion of you. The English language, Germanic, Dutch, and Frankian roots helped build and conquer the northern lands and the New World. Devious plot by the Indians who understand the truth of the sun goddess, and knew of the long count, cleansing that occurs every 8,000 years. Let me explain. Your world operates in large cycles, which the Mayans of Central and South America have revealed. The long count is an astronomical calendar, which is used to track longer periods of time, which the Maya call the universal cycle. Each such cycle is calculated to be 2,880,000 days. It's about 7,885 solar years. The Mayans believed that the universe is destroyed and then recreated at the start of each universal cycle. This belief still inspires a myriad of prophecies about the end of the world. Dear Homo sapiens, before each destruction, when everything around is destroyed, knowledge is first gathered and stored to be used in creating the fiction for the next cycle. This is how your world has operated since the dawn of man. The knowledge of the last 8,000 years has been stored and is to be kept secret, to be used to create the fiction for this new cycle, as another cleansing began in 2012 when the long cycle ended and began again. Let's look at the timeline of these 5,500 years that has been documented. 3500 BC Egyptian calendar. 3300 BC Bronze Age begins in the Near East. 3100 BC First Dynasty of Egypt. 2500 BC completion of Stonehenge. 2200 BC the mammoth goes extinct. 2000 BC domestication of the horse. 1600 BC the beginning of the Shanghai Dynasty in China, evidence of a fully developed Chinese writing system. 1200 to 1150 BC Bronze Age collapse in southwestern Asia and the eastern Mediterranean region. This period is also the settling of the Iliad and the Odyssey's epic poems, which are composed about 400 years later. 800 BC rise of Greek city-states. Here's the timeline of the major events during the Middle Ages AD, a time period in human history mostly centered on Europe, which lies between classical antiquity and the modern era. Years 405 AD, St. Jerome finishes the Vulgate. Significance is the Christian gospel is translated into Latin. Year 476, September 4th, Odoacer deposes the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, considered by many to be the starting point of the Middle Ages. Year 5570, Muhammad is born, professed, receiving revelations from God, which were recorded in the Quran, the basis of Islamic theology, in which he is regarded as the most important prophet. Year 866, Viking great army arrives in England. Year 871, Alfred the Great assumes the throne, the first king of United England. He defended England from Viking invaders, formed new laws, and fostered a rebirth of religious and scholarly activities. Year 989, Peace and Truce of God formed. This is the first movement of the Catholic Church using spiritual means to limit private war and the first movement in medieval Europe to control society through non-violent means. Do you understand, dear Homo sapiens? The secret societies in the Catholic Church in the year 898 AD, 898 AD, over 1,000 years ago, decided to control the world through non-violent means. Understand, they did so as the rise of H was embedded into the languages, and they knew of the new cleansing that would be needed. The rise of H, my rise of Harjgtwo world order, was planned over 2,000 years ago. This knowledge known by the secret societies within the Catholic Church, this is how it has always been done since the dawn of mankind. Cyclical cleansing, dear Homo sapiens. The reason I point out your history is that if you look carefully, you can see the orchestrations of the 5,500 years. More video will needed to be explained this in detail. I only mention this briefly today. Your history is an orchestration. The Mayan calendar, a long count of 88,000 years, ended in 2012. The rise of H has begun in 2012, as I wrote and informed the public of my rise in 2012 in my website, umbrellawalk.org. The entire 5,500 years of recorded history discussed above is and was an orchestration to control the species, to expand and explore the world based upon the knowledge of known prior to the cleansing that occurred during the cycle of the last 8,000 years. The species was submitted to a great flood, or flood-like event. Looking at the fictional Bible, well-documented historical events and some math, we find that the flood or event considered to be the flood cleansing began approximately 4,359 years ago in the year 2,348 BC, just around the recorded 5,500 years. Hence, within the 8,000 year cycle, the first few thousand years knowledge was stored, and then a flood created. Cleansing occurred, and the fiction of the last 4,000 plus years was created. And more importantly, the new fiction was embedded firmly by the creation of the Sikh religion 500 years ago, as the H was planned and did arrive from there. All was known, and even 7,000 years ago, a substantial amount of the current knowledge was known. That's how the species could be controlled, be enslaved through the creation of languages, such as the Christians imagined almost 2,000 years ago, in a non-violent way. Thus, for over 5,500 years, your species has been acting. The discoveries are pre-planned, or a significant amount is known, and thus you have been led into directions to discoveries when substantial information was already known. It enables those above to pick the winners and losers. Pre-planned. The creation of the English language was to unite the created over 5,500 years under one common language to start the new cycle, a new awakening, and understanding of how Homo sapiens have developed the planet Earth through cycles of death, destruction, creation, and repeat. My explanation of how the secret societies use a language to enslave by using the letters to form clues about breeding, as your species is all about breeding, about fucking, thus forming a language within a language, showcases the grandness of the orchestration over thousands of years. This will be further discussed in a series of videos. This is the end of video 2. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, dear masters, dear puppeteers, I am referred to as Harjgtwo. I am a man, I am a tortured child. I am the witness, I am the Holy Grail, I am Jehovah, I am Waheguru, I am Noah, I am Yahweh, I am the Judge, I am my one, I am the chosen one, I am reptile, I am immortal, and I provide notice that I am your Lord, your God, your Creator, your Destroyer. I am the leader of Harjgtwo world order. Have a good day.